Hi, Steve Garrett here again. This is the time of year when people make New Year's resolutions and predictions. My resolution this year is to gain weight and do less exercise. Last year it was to lose weight and do more exercise. Turned out to be totally wrong, so I'm going to try a new strategy this year. It's a very popular activity and it's fraught with a lot of risk. And one of the reasons it's fraught with a lot of risk is because sometimes you're wrong when you make your predictions. I've shown that wrong predictions can cause you to eat crow and sometimes eat broken glass. I've also come to discover that the longer out your predictions are, the greater the amount of time between when you make them and when people find out how foolish you were when you made them in the first place. And so shorter term predictions have got the highest degree of risk, and longer predictions, well, you can outlive them, and then people won't know that you were crazy. You know, there's one guy, Henry Ellsworth, who was the commissioner of patents back in 1848, and he said at the time that the advancement of the arts from year to year taxes our credulity and seems to presage the arrival of that period when human improvement must end. I think at the same report he said that there was probably no reason to continue funding the patent office since there was everything that needed to be invented probably already had been invented. But there are other people who make predictions, and some of them are kind of worthy of revisiting. A guy named John Elworth Watkins, who was the curator of mechanical technology at the Smithsonian, what is called the Smithsonian today. He wrote an article for the Ladies' Home Journal, What May Happen in the Next 100 Years. Now, he predicted a couple of things that were kind of interesting. Let's look at a couple of them.
Store purchases by tube. Pneumatic tubes instead of store wagons will deliver packages and bundles. These tubes will collect, deliver and transport mail over certain distances, perhaps for hundreds of miles. They will at first connect with the private houses of the wealthy, then with all homes. Great business establishments will extend them to stations, similar to our branch post offices of today.
So his pneumatic tube idea, well, we don't have pneumatic tubes, but we do have Amazon, which really kind of looks very much like his pneumatic tube idea. And then there was the other prediction.
Telegraph circuits will span the world. A husband in the middle of the Atlantic will be able to converse with his wife sitting in her boudoir in Chicago. We will be able to telephone to China quite as readily as we now talk from New York to Brooklyn. By an automatic signal, they will connect with any circuit in their locality without the intervention of a hello girl.
Which turned out to be, I guess he was predicting cell phones and the internet. So he didn't do too bad. I have a couple of predictions, real quick ones. I think 100 years from now, and actually John Ellsworth was 120 years ago, but I think that we will still be on Earth and the climate will be pristine 120 years from now. Despite the gloom and doomers, I think the economy is going to be greater 100 years from now than it is today, and I also think that the United States is going to remain as a democracy. Well, I've got a few other things to say as a way of predictions, and this is the time of year for predictions, so let's have a little fun with it. I'll see you tomorrow, maybe. I'm Steve Garrett. My website is www.stevegarrett.com, 2 R's and 2 T's. Thank you very much for tuning in and listening to what I have to say.